That song is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, hi everyone. We thought we'd start out by giving you a little treat. My name is Bernie Cardell. I'm the artistic director here at Vintage Cedar, and I am joined today by the incomparable April Alsup, composer, librettist, all-around theater person.
Lyricist, yes.
Lyricist, everything. We're here to talk about creativity, music, musicals, theater in general, the creative process, and an upcoming show that you can see here at Vintage Theater in July, which is this month. This month. You can see it later this month. So first, since some of our viewers might not know who you are, why don't you just give us a little introduction about yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, I'm April, and I have been writing music theater works my entire life. Started doing it as a child with my mother, with simple things like lightning and bells, and what was just childhood playing around turned into a passion for writing music theater works. So I've been doing it now for, gosh, nearly 70 years.
Right.
And I'm retired now, and I get to spend a lot more time doing it.
I bet that's really nice.
Yes.
So when did you write your first musical?
Well, I've been writing music my whole life, and I studied music in college, and I've gone through classical music, I've gone through jazz music, I've gone through rock and roll music. I was in LA, I've been in New York, and I've been back to LA. And I gravitated to the music theater stuff because I think that was sort of how I got started. It was never notes on a page, it was always stories. We were telling stories.
Okay.
And so in the commercial music, it's much different than music theater. I mean, we're telling stories all the time. Each song is a story, and we often have arias with multiple people and recitative, things that just wouldn't work in the commercial area. So when I was in LA, I would say that sort of was something that was obvious. It was obvious that my commercial music really didn't have much, or my music really didn't have much commercial appeal, because it was just too dramatic, and you don't hear the dramatics in commercial music like you do in music.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you just found it to be better suited to the musical form.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you said you talked about being in LA and New York. When did you get to Denver? What brought you here?
Out of college, after studying music, I went to LA hoping to write movie scores, and ended up falling in love with computer graphics. I worked at the company that produced the animations in the movie Tron for Disney.
Oh, wow.
And so that took my path down a different road, I would say, but it was still very creative, and I loved it. And I continued to do a lot of musical stuff around that. My animations were typically of piano keyboards playing and trying to sync up animation with music. So Magi did the movie for Disney, and Magi was in New York, so they brought me from LA to New York.
Okay.
And then coincidentally, Lockheed bought the technology from Magi, and they moved me back to LA. So I was in Studio City, back in the thick of things, and then that company moved me to Denver, and I grew roots and had a family of 3, and now they're off into college, and I'm doing my own thing, and they're doing their own thing.
Well, it sounds wonderful. So tell us about, you've been working with music, as you said, your whole life. Tell us about creating the music. So when you're working on a new musical, or maybe just a musical piece,
Good
where
question.
Where does the idea come from, or what's the spark that starts it?
Yeah, good question. I have a little pamphlet of ideas, and I think life is sort of a stage, and it always has been for me. So I often come across stories, and I write them down in my notebook, and then I go to the piano, and sometimes, the music just flows out,
Yeah.
and then other times a couple of songs might come out, but it sort of stops. And so
So does that idea like get put away for a while? Or?
it does.
Yeah.
And so I have a whole spreadsheet of songs and spreadsheets of ideas, and when the idea starts clicking, I start taking those songs out of my repository and putting them together into a show, and often it just gets those legs to keep going. I mean, some stories just they scream music theater. Egg was a perfect example of that, the haves and have-nots. And so in most of my musicals, I have a sort of a contrasting have and have-nots. And in Egg, it was the Islanders versus the St. Moritz crowd. In Band, it was the LGBT community versus, society. And in Absurd Hero, it's really homeless and society.
Okay.
So each time I seem to find a marginalized group, and maybe that helps me build those contrasting elements, and I get those characters in my head, and the story starts making its way into the music.
Yeah. And you're a very collaborative artist as well.
I love that.
And you work with musical book writers or librettists as well. I mean, you've written your own librettos.
Yes.
Tell us about working with a writing partner like that, and what that is like.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't be good at screenwriting because that's often sweetening a movie track that already exists, a story that already exists. And so often the composer in those situations is looking at a finished product and writing and sweetening that finished product. And for me, gosh, I really need to have the story up here, and that's each character starts getting motifs, and their interactions get motifs, and the music just flows out then.
So when you talk about a character motif, you're talking about a musical signature almost for a character.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example of that?
Sure. So in Absurd Hero, I've got a. We do what we want 'cause we can. I don't know the reason why I think I could mislead 'em. I do what we want 'cause we can. You're missing a note there. Anyway, so.
And what kind of character is this?
That's one of the main characters that's sort of goofy, and we learn that he's, some of these things are in his imagination. Because Absurd Hero, as we get talking about it, it's the myth of Sisyphus in modern day. And so the only way I could truly get gods in modern day was to make it delusions in the homeless gods' minds. And so they were a little demented, and so those motifs are coming from that.
Yeah.
There are motifs for the handmaid. Motifs for Spartans.
This totally fits. I love it. So the motifs are really coming from the characters' voices.
Yeah.
How they speak to you. Yeah. So the story and the music are really intertwined.
Yeah.
Intimately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. The music, the music is there to move the story along.
Yeah.
So, they're completely integrated.
Yeah. I mean, I've directed a lot of musicals, but I've never written a musical, so this whole process is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Now, this is your This is your third year coming to Vintage Theater
Mm-hmm.
in the summer, presenting an original musical
Mm-hmm.
that you are then going to take to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Right.
Right? So tell us about the first year. What show was that?
Okay, so in 2019, I was just ending up my career,
Mhm.
and I was starting to think about retirement, and I wanted to participate in the Fringe Festival, but I was, I was putting the music together for Egg, and Egg is an island in the Hebrides of Scotland. So I had been in Bavaria for a few months, and I came over to Edinburgh, and I went to the society. The Edinburgh Fringe Society is right there on the Royal Mile, and that's when I met my venue. That's when I met the university. I actually was able to stay at the university, and then I was off on my way to Egg to learn a little bit more about Egg and the people of Egg.
And the history of it.
And that's when I found that accordion music and ceilidh music, and ceilidh is a gathering of people. And at that point, I realized, geez, this really needs to be in this show. If I'm going to write a story about Egg, I'm going to have ceilidh music. So I came back and I said, Mark, we got to change all of this. And but it was the right thing to do.
But it sounds like it served the story better, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It certainly did. And it also, I love playing in the ensembles, and I love finding an ensemble that I can play in. And so I realized I really needed to get the accordion. I needed to learn how to play ceilidh music, and the pandemic happened. And so all of a sudden I was locked in my house, and I had an accordion, and online I learned to play accordion from probably the most famous ceilidh accordionist in Edinburgh.
Is that right?
And so we met every week online. His friend's son is our theater tech at Riddle's Court. So some wonderful things have happened out of that.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So let's back up for me. Before that time, you had no idea how to play the accordion.
Right.
You just during the pandemic you just decided you were going to learn how to play the accordion.
Yes.
To be able to play it for the music.
Yes, and I drove my neighbors crazy doing it.
Absolutely.
So that's just a famous ceilidh song.
So when you went out there to visit and do the research, this is the kind of music you were hearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this actually opens the Egg show.
Yeah.
I've traveled this world all over, and scarce have I needed a foe. I know good quarters are waiting, well, they're waiting for old draws in the bow. They're waiting for draws in the bow. Oh, they're waiting for old draws in the bow. I know good quarters are waiting. Oh, they're waiting for old draws in the bow.
Fantastic. That's amazing.
I can go on and on and on. That actually opens Egg, and there's a wonderful Glencoe song and the Sky Boat song. Maybe you've heard it. and some old Johnny Cash songs I also
Fantastic.
weaved in there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a wonderful instrument. It has such an international character. There's
Right.
Mexican songs, there's Italian songs, there's wonderful French songs, and I consider it a real instrument for my, I just feel like I'm an accordionist in this.
Right.
So.
So now, when you take the show to the Fringe Festival, I mean, you're previewing it here at Vintage to get kind of some practice for the Fringe Festival, if that's the right way to describe it.
Definitely. So.
Previews, maybe the actors get to kind of get a sense of it.
Yeah, put them in front of an audience
Right.
to understand where the laughs are coming,
It always
where
changes
the
the show,
ahs are
right?
coming, and so I think and your team here has been wonderful.
They're pretty wonderful,
Everyone
aren't they?
here that I've worked with,
Yeah.
whether or not it's Lou.
Thank you. Looks pretty fabulous. For everybody watching, Luke is behind the camera of all of these videos, and he is fabulous.
Uh-huh.
So how do you keep a story down to, you're doing an entire musical in 60 minutes.
Yeah.
How do you keep it
Yeah.
all? You must
Well,
find yourself having to cut a lot, or
Yeah, truly. So, I genuinely like the 90-minute format, even though sometimes I do go to 2-act. And in Edinburgh, it's a 60-minute format. I got 70 minutes, and all shows get 70 minutes. Now, so I cut it down to 60 minutes, and that means I always usually have a prologue to get through the exposition as quickly as possible, so to let the audience know who these characters are.
So introduce the characters. Yeah, sure. Okay.
And really get up to speed on what this show is about. And then.
So you're really just diving right into the story, practically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, a typical exposition, you're almost done with the time,
Sure.
time constraint. So
Right.
I cut down each song. These shows are running about 15 songs, and in a 2-act, I usually get up to 20, a little over 20 songs.
Yeah.
So I bring it down to 15 songs, maybe somewhere between 12 and 15 songs.
Right.
And then I'm cutting verses, and I'm cutting extra measures, things that the gobbledygook.
Yeah.
It's a great exercise for getting a really concise story. I think that's a really good thing for a theater composer or a playwright to be concentrating on, is to really get concise on their delivery, razor focused on what the message is that they're trying to get across.
Right.
And in Absurd Hero, we've got 6 leads, and we've got probably 3 or 4, one main thread, but there's 3 or 4 other threads going on, and so
Amazing.
It's cutting it down and working with the director too. I've got a wonderful team.
Sure. That's got to be a very collaborative process, right? Especially on new material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful team. I work with Heather Weston-Scal on choreography, and Kelly McAllister on director. And this year I'm using Tanner Kelly for music direction.
Right.
And so even though I love composing, we all have real things that we do well. And if there's one thing I've learned in music theater, is that there's so much more we can do together than we can ever do on our own.
Yeah.
And so my bailiwick is right here in the concept phase, and writing the show and the tunes, and I love seeing what the director and Tanner is wonderful with the vocal choral.
Yep.
You can hear all of those harmonies and where they should be, and I used Blake the year before, and he did wonderful work as well with building inserts for all the actors and all of those harmonies, and you throw in the choreography, and then Kelly's a master at the blocking and telling the show. So
and keeping it kind of compact.
Yeah. So I like the leadership team. I get a leadership team together. I usually do that. I've got a good relationship with the venue now, and they're usually connecting with me in November, even before.
Is that right? Oh, wow. Okay.
And so I'll start, formulating my plan, ideas and stuff. Then I'll let Kelly know and say, hey, this looks like it's happening again this year.
Right.
And we get together with Heather and bring Tanner in.
Yeah.
Start putting it all together.
It's like a family, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Absurd Hero, it's going to play at Vintage July 18th, the weekend of the 18th through the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And then when do you leave? When do you leave for out of the country?
We leave on the 28th because the last 3 years we've opened the Fringe. There's 20 shows that they pick. And
Because you have to apply to be a part of it, right?
what?
You have to apply to
Yes.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have a good reputation now
Nice.
of delivering really good gala works, and so we get 2 minutes. The BBC, the Independent, the Guardian,
Amazing.
Getty Images. It's the theater who's who in Edinburgh
Right.
and the UK. So it's a wonderful experience. We leave on the 28th. We do the gala on the 30th, and every year the Fringe Festival starts on August 1st and ends the last day of August. So it's just the month of August, and it really truly is a celebration of creative theater makers, and that's why I led with the tagline "Celebrate the Theater Makers" this year, because it just feels like when you go to Edinburgh, we're all on the same team. We see some crappy shows and we see some great shows, but we're all one team creating theater works, and I love that.
Theater
I
is a
love that
celebration.
about Edinburgh. I really, truly.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, April, I really want to thank you for coming. I want all of you to go visit our website, vintagetheater.org, theater spelled with an R-E, vintagetheater.org. Get your tickets to Absurd Hero, because all of those ticket sales help fund getting all of the actors out to the festival. So your help is greatly appreciated, and in return, you're going to get a fabulous original show.
You must want to hear an Absurd Hero song.
Yeah.
Now this has a little bit of contrapuntal stuff in it, so I usually start with a melody.
Okay.
Counter melody. Now, if you want me to play it upside down. This is sort of the gist of the show. Take this moment in time, past and present, it's in your mind. Take this myth, there once was a time there were gods that ruled humankind. We are nothing but what we make of ourselves. Albert Camus. It's the journey. Share your love. We're in this together. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming
Sure.
in today.
Absolutely.
Thanks for meeting with me.
Mhm.
And thank you for watching.